is your latest cornerback signing. Now, since we're talking DB, let's just kind of keep it in that vein there, okay? And our boy Evan Williams, man, the stuff he did as a rookie last year, really, really impressive, right? And I know there were several articles written today, so I had AI, hey, go grab any information you got on Evan Williams going into year 2, and let's just kind of dive into it here a little bit, okay? And I want to give a shout out to Tom Silverstein, okay? All quotes mentioned below we shared by Tom Silverstein in his most recent article in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, okay? That article can be found here. So if you're in the Patreon group, or if you want to just screenshot this so you can go check out his article, or just go to his Twitter account, you can find that article in its entirety. He had some really good quotes in that article, okay? So Evan Williams' background rookie season. Obviously, Evan Williams was selected as a 4th-round pick in 2024 for the Packers. Williams quickly emerged as a training camp standout, leading all players with 5 interceptions. You guys remember that last year, how Evan Williams was just constantly taking the ball away in training camp. Lo and behold, it transitioned right onto the field in the regular season. So he transitioned from backup to starter by week 4, making 7 starts, including the playoff game, with notable performances like 10 tackles and 2 pass breakups in his debut game against the Rams and a game-clinching interception against the Indianapolis Colts. He earned a spot on the Pro Football Writers of America all-rookie team for his contribution. So all-rookie according to the PFW there. So health challenges in 2024. He suffered a thigh injury, much like Jacob on the pole over there at the club. He suffered a thigh injury before the December 23rd, 2024 game against New Orleans, missing 3 regular season games. He aggravated the injury in the first quarter of the January 12th, 2025 wildcard playoff loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, playing the rest of the game at reduced capacity. So you could tell the difference between a college season and an NFL season much longer, and it kind of caught up with him, it seems like. So I think he's going to be even more prepared to absorb that kind of wear and tear on his body going into 2025. The injury required a month to heal postseason, delaying his offseason training. Okay, so learning to stay healthy postseason, the Packers sent Williams to Badger Athletic Performance at UW-Madison for analysis, where sensors evaluated his running form, strength, flexibility, and potential injury causes like stress on hamstrings and quads. He described the process, quote, this is one of the quotes from Tom Silverstein's article, they just track your running form, kind of get you fully hooked up to a bunch of sensors and just see how the way that you run might affect the injury that you have. I got the answers that I needed. Jacob, this sounds a lot like the Christian Watson stuff, right?
Yeah.
When he went down and got that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems like whatever they did, if you guys can remember, there was multiple seasons back-to-back where we were firing our training squad, the strength and conditioning coaches were getting, shipped out like yesterday's trash. Whatever they did when they found that, I think it was the exact same one, right? The Badger Athletic Club, where they went and found out that Watson had one of his quads was like 20% more developed than the other one or something crazy like that. So obviously his body was favoring that. And that's what led to him not fully being able to heal the right way. I think when they found out how that helped Watson so dramatically, it seems like they've been going to that well over and over and over again, because I honestly, it's pretty interesting to see the science that's behind all this. He talks about all the sensors, people don't think how technical the game of football is, obviously on the field. It's even crazier when you take a step back and look at what the rehab, the training, everything that goes around it, the dietitians, you know what I mean? It's not just the hour that you're on the field, the 3 hours you play the game. It's a full-time lifestyle that these guys have to do to keep their bodies in that sort of peak form to be able to play at this level. It's pretty cool too that they've found a home there with the Badger Athletic Performance Club there at UW-Madison. And it almost feels like that we have like an advantage in that aspect. Like if guys are that good at rehabbing and being able to understand precisely, half the problem is not necessarily having the right diagnosis for some of these issues. When they know that for sure they can pinpoint exactly what is wrong with you down to the way you're running, that's pretty cool.
Pretty wild. And Tim, as he was talking about that, how these guys, it's like a full-time job keeping your body tuned to be able to play at the NFL level. All I could think about is some overweight guy sitting on his couch in his whitey toddies with the Cheeto stains on the right hip or left hip, depending on if he's left-handed or right.
Should have made that tackle.
Yeah. This guy's Christian Watson's.
We need more sacks, guys. Guys, we need more sacks.
Max Crosby gets so many sacks. The meatloaf.
The other thing here, it says he has added muscle to his 5'11", 200-pound frame, feels healthy, lean, and fast, stating, quote, "I'm just really ready to tear it up this year, honestly. Just make that leap."
Thick.
It sounds like Evan's in a good spot here, man. And like I said, shout out to Tom Silverstein for getting these awesome quotes from Evan and putting that together.
Yeah, Spoon is the man, right? The man, the myth, the legend. Plugged in, absolutely. We're a long way away from shut up and rub some dirt in it, right? Remember the old days, Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh, are you hurt or are you injured? Shut up and play. Yeah, it's a new dawn, a new day, and the advancements that we've had with not just technology but in the medical field, and like Jacob saying, being able to analyze the way a guy like physically runs stride for stride in real time and understand a potential injury before it starts, or maybe one that you're rehabbing and preventing it in the future. I mean, that's huge, man. This is next level.
Yeah, for sure. Coach's insights. All right. Head coach Matt LaFleur emphasized learning his body to avoid injuries. Quote, "He's got to continue to learn his body because I know there were some injuries last year. He's another guy that loves the game. He's extremely intelligent. You could really see that on the tape, man. He seemed like he was playing a half a step fast, and it was because of this and not the physical ability that he has." Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley praised his growth. Quote, "He's a very intelligent player. He started to learn how to study the game more, and he's starting to understand how serious you need to take it. His current role and expectations, currently starting as a strong safety opposite Xavier McKinney, competing with Javon Bullard, who may shift to slot corner, obviously full-time. Williams on his growth, quote, "I think I've grown tremendously just as far as the habits I have, being able to take care of my body like a professional. I'm taking walkthroughs as serious as you can and being intentional with all you do here. Position to help the defense improve significantly now that he's healthy and committed." So if he wasn't committed last year, boys, and he went out and had that kind of performance, talk about raising the bar. And for those that are in the Patreon group, this YouTube link right here that you see on the channel or on the article, which is this stuff you have access to on our Patreon group, click that. That'll send you directly to our YouTube channel and the specific video where we did a Chalk Talk segment on Evan Williams just about a month ago. So if you want to kind of relive what he did last year, the link's right there conveniently easy for you to find there on the article on Patreon. So anything else on Evan Williams, gents? Anything at all?
Yeah, just real quick, if you guys want to see, I mean, every time I watch an interview with him, I just am so impressed by how mature he seems. We forget, I mean, his rookie season, we didn't expect a lot. We talk about it often on this podcast, how when we did the breakdown of him in college, we're like, yeah, he's the thumper. It looks like he can play the run real well, but man, he's not great at the pass, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, I think was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, compared to what we thought.
We were all surprised by his coverage grade, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And even more impressive than what he does on the field to me is how he carries himself off the field for being so young, coming into a defense where, again, we did not expect much out of him, and he overperforming. And then the way he just handles himself in interviews, if you want to have a good time, I believe it's like a 5 or 6 minute interview that the Packers have on their website that he did from maybe a couple days ago, where he just talks about the process of him, what it took for him to come into the NFL, how he actually had a great little blurb about how he used to actually know Hobbs back in the day, how he played with his older brother, how he used to come to the house and play with him and all that kind of stuff.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And what's even better than that is just like the guy, he had expectations for himself. He seems like Coach has said, he's got really good FBI to the point where, if we didn't have a guy like X back there, it was kind of the field general. I feel like Evan Williams is that type of player that could make that unbelievably large step in year 2 and become kind of more of like I hate to say middle linebacker, but like the quarterback of that defense. And he also made a really great point too, that he says, it's awesome coming in to his personal year 2 at the same time that Hafley's coming into year 2, because he feels like that he started at the same time as his defensive coach, the defensive coordinator, the actual field general, you know what I mean? And he says it's just really, really exciting because everybody's going into that year 2, even though it's his year 2 as an NFL player. He feels like the whole defense is kind of in that sophomore season, which they are obviously coming together. And the way that they're kind of all on the same page, it seems like, and they kind of know what the base defense is, that now they're starting to get a little more spicy. You know what I mean? They had the base recipe down. Now they're throwing in a little spice here and there, where it's like these guys are going to be a little more technical, a little more hopefully not thinking, not in their head. That was the biggest thing that Hafley when he came in, he's like, I want these guys just playing. I don't want them thinking.
Yeah.
That was always like a big motto for him, I feel like. And it seems like they've bought into that. And this year, if they're not thinking, bro, and they're just running and being absolute human meat missiles, watch out, NFL.
That goes hand in hand with FBI, right? Part of football intelligence is, you trust the preparation, right? You embrace the process, you trust the system. And then when Sunday rolls around, you just go out there and play your game, man. You don't overthink it. You go out there and play free, right? And, to your point, Jacob, I remember thinking last year when, Packers.com did the little segment with Evan Williams and Leroy Butler. They sat down and had a little conversation, kind of welcoming him to Green Bay. And my first reaction was kind of similar to yours, is, man, this guy is a total pro already, and he's barely been in the league. Now we're going into year 2 in this Hafley system with the room that we're putting together. Keep your eyes on E. Will, man. This guy's going to blow up this year. I got a real strong feeling about it.
Yeah, and being in that room with Xavier McKinney constantly, gosh, it's just such a blessing. So there you go. There's your little Evan Williams year 2 update. Let's go to the chat real quick, get these cleaned up. Clint, the armchair quarterback, said, I wouldn't want to be the one who makes the final cuts. It's the part of the season that I hate the most is when we get to that last week. I remember last year it was Christian Welch. I'm like, how can you look that man in the eye and say you didn't make the team when he did everything right through the preseason? I mean, he had production in the preseason. He was standing out at camp. But thank God he's back on the roster again this year, and it's pretty cool that once again he may not make the roster, but he's going to be pushing for a practice squad spot. Randy Steen in the chat said, I got my autographed LVN this past week. Thanks, fellas.
Nice.
Thank you for supporting the channel. Randy obviously won one of our giveaways, so really, really cool there. Appreciate you, Randy. Andy Monday in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Says the literal translation of Gutekunst is good art. Goody always working to craft our roster. Holmes MD1 says, hold on a second. I need to drop AFAM's ma off at her 12-step program quick. Be right back. So thank you, Holmes, for and thank Jacob for marking that. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Coach Lynn.
That is correct.
Coach Lynn says Williams might be our best open field tackler. I can't argue with that at all. Again, That's what popped on the college tape to us. And then lo and behold, we were concerned about the coverage. My man goes out there and covers lights out. Played absolutely great. So, all right, let's